Hello, Chris Edwards.
Hey, what's up, Todd?
How are you, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Jewel thinks that
Shut up, no.
Jewel thinks
That
that
was a
it has nothing to do with the audio. It's just that maybe you're just afraid that you're ugly.
Well, it's true. I'm a little bit ugly, but I have found that the audio quality is affected because the computer is processing so much more, right? It's processing all those pixels to display my ugly face.
Yeah, right.
So-
It's cool though, brother. I'm almost 40, man. I'm just ugly. I don't know how I got so lucky to get such a beautiful girl.
You're not ugly. I didn't even see the picture. I'm just saying it was funny because it was just a big question mark.
Yeah.
So are you two married?
We're working on it.
Nice, good for you.
We will be soon. We're pretty much an old married couple. You might as well consider it.
Awesome.
We fight like we're 60.
Yep. I just got married last summer, so
You did. Congratulations.
yeah, we've almost made it through the first year. We're still together.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
So far, so good.
That's good.
So for the listeners at home who don't know, well, I'm sure most of the people out there know, but for the people who don't know, I'm talking with Chris Edwards. He was the first person to ever grind a rail on rollerblades. He was the first person to ever have a pro skate. He was a stuntman on Airborne, Batman and Robin, Mighty Ducks, and Prayer of the Roller Boys. And his nickname is the Godfather for good reason. He was basically the first person on rollerblades to really excel. I mean, so many people got into skating because of Chris Edwards. They saw him skate. He had so much power, so much intensity on the rollerblades that it made people go, whoa. It made people look at rollerblading in a totally different way. So, Chris, please tell me how you got into rollerblading in the first place.
Well, man, first of all, everything was right, but I actually didn't do Batman.
You didn't do Batman?
No,
Okay,
I wasn't
thanks
on
for
that
correcting
project.
me.
Yeah, it's cool though. Everything else I did do, and it was a blast and an honor. I got started rollerblading back in 1986. I was in California, in Escondido, where I was born and mostly raised. But my dad was a pastor, and we had moved back and forth from Escondido to Los Alamos, because he had a church in Los Alamos in New Mexico for a little bit. And in Los Alamos, they had a private ski hill, and my dad was an avid skier and had me on skis since I was old enough to walk, pretty much. And when I moved back to California after spending a few winters in Los Alamos and really taken to skiing, between like the ages of 9 and 12, we moved next door to this dude who owned a bike shop, Martin Wazalski, North County Bicycles in Escondido, and he befriended us, and actually befriend's not the right word, but he became a friend of ours, and he let me work at his shop when I was like 12 years old and clean toilets and sweep the floors, and I was too young to actually earn a legal dollar, so he gave me shop dollars, and I was allowed to buy things from the shop. So at first I bought some bikes and different things, and then all of a sudden these rollerblades came into the store and had a picture of a dude with ski poles, and I was like, wow, all right, those look cool. And so I cleaned some toilets and swept some floors until I earned enough shop dollars to buy my first pair of rollerblades. And I bought those in 1996 and jumped on them and started jumping off the thing. Fell in love immediately.
Wow. So back then, like, was there anyone that you went skating with, or did you just go out by yourself?
I was a complete and total freak.
Yeah.
Everyone at school laughed at me. I was the only person that had them. People would drive by and honk their horns and just stare and like, what the heck are those? I got stopped everywhere I went because I was definitely one of the very first, even in the town, to own a pair. So I was like, like the first person you saw cruising through the city. I had a couple other friends that bought them, as well. But I really took to them. My other friends were playing hockey with them and whatnot. But I had friends who bicycle stunts, rode their ramps, and then plenty of friends who skateboarded. So I just started seeing if I could ride my rollerblades with them.
Wow. It's so interesting to think about, like, because now we have a point of reference, right? We see people rollerblading, and like even when I started, people were doing it, so I had people to look at and emulate their moves. But back then, like, how did you said you were like jumping off of stuff and things like that. Like, where did you even get the influence to do those things?
My influence, major influence was my brother Kenny Clark in Escondido, who worked at the bike shop and used to ride for GT as one of the demo teams, and he had ramps, and so he was my first big influence more towards the culture that we're used to today, you know. So he was one of the first ramps I was touching, and he pushed me pretty hard. And then in like '87, I ended up connecting with rollerblade pretty quick, because after that first year in '86 of riding, the owner of the bike shop, Martin, got a hold of Chris Morris, who was the sales rep out in California at the time, and said, "Man, you got to come out and watch this kid. He's kind of crazy." So Morris and Pat Parnell came out and met me, and I signed with Rollerblade in '87. So then I ended up meeting Parnell and meeting Action Jackson and Doug Boyce. Doug Boyce ended up being a major influence on me as well. He was really into trying to produce what we have today. He had, like, you know, you heard in the Angie interview, a lot of, you know, Angie spoke nothing but truth. So I mean, Doug Boyce had the first drawing of a skate with wheels to create the gap to grind, and he used to stand around and go, "Come on, Edwards," you know, he'd push me, like, "Grab it this way, tweak it that way." And, you know, between him and Parnell, like, if you watch Dare to Air, you see Parnell a lot, you know, saying, like, reach into my pockets and say, "I am a man." like, as I grinded down some of the first rails, you know.
Wow. So you said you signed with Rollerblade. Like, what does that mean? You got a job with Rollerblade? What was the deal there?
I was still pretty young. I was only 13. I got signed on this junior team, and I don't know, that kind of went nowhere for a minute.
Yeah. But eventually, you started, like, it sounded like in the early days you guys did like a lot of shows and demos. And when did that all start?
That sparked up closer to the '90s. So like around it was kind of like the first thing I did was as a junior team member, we did like one of the promo videos for Rollerblade, and we just kind of cruised around and skated, and I don't know. I remember they had a launch ramp. I went off of it. I busted my chin, and then, like, for some reason I was told I wasn't allowed to ride the ramp, but I kept on riding it anyways, and they kind of got mad at me, and Action Jackson got all mad at me, and then I just kept on doing it anyways and jumping, and but then they made me wear spandex and do the cover of the Blade Runner box, and after that I was just, like, really turned off. I was like, forget this, really.
So they made you wear spandex?
If I wanted the check.
But they said, okay, we'll pay you, but you have to wear spandex.
Right. It's what we want for the cover.
You sell out.
Well, my family was on welfare, so at the time I was, you know, it was weighing the option. Like, okay, you know, I was a 13-year-old kid about to make $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was, you know, that's the last time I feel that I sold out to rollerblading. Because even as a 13-year-old kid, I just felt it was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't me. So then I didn't really pursue anything with them until closer to like '89, and then I think it was like '88 or '89. '89. I think '88 was kind of a quiet year. I just kept, like, rolling with my friends on the ramps and street skating, and then '89 I got a call to go do the Mickey Mouse Club. So I was on the Mickey Mouse Club. I sang "Why? Because we like you."
What was that all about? The Mickey Mouse Club?
Yeah, man, I was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
What's the Mickey Mouse Club?
You never seen the Mickey Mouse Club, man?
I don't think so.
MICKEYMOUSE, Mickey Mouse. and then at the end of the show, you know, they go when they go MIC, and they're like, see you real soon, KEY, and I said, why? Because we like you. And MOUSE.
So this was like an acting gig, or did you do any skating with this?
No, man, we had a little quarter pipe. I busted a little ho-ho action, and then I at the end, after the team rollerblade came out, you know, the dancers came and woo, and then they're like, and here comes. At that time, my last name was Todd and Denton, so it's kind of funny. Like, my name got changed when I was 14, but just a family thing. But they were like, here comes Chris Denton Hodges, and I come flying out and aired out of the quarter pipe, kind of did like some stalls and then a little ho-ho invert.
Wow.
Did a couple of tricks, and then at the end, I sang the song.
Nice.
That was my first introduction to Hollywood.
Wow.
And then I from there, then, you know, man, I just started like rolling in commercials and did the Sunny Delight commercial, which Jewel didn't realize. It was one of her favorite commercials. She didn't realize that as a kid, as she looked at that ridiculously good-looking kid in the fridge saying
purple
stuff, soda, cola, or Sunny D.
Sunny D.
Yeah, she didn't realize she was gonna marry that ridiculously good-looking kid.
Wow. Sunny D is gross.
It is, dude. It is.
It's not very good.
I'm not getting paid by him today, so I'll tell you it's gross.
Yeah.
I got, man. Okay, we did a couple of Sunny Delight commercials, and one of them was in the desert, and someone forgot to put them on ice, man, and I had to drink warm, almost hot Sunny Delight and pretend like it was delicious.
Oh.
Like, I really had to act like it was refreshing and amazing. And then I remember, like, after so many takes, I'd have to stop and puke and then do it again.
Oh my God.
Gnarly? Yeah, it was gnarly. I earned my money on that one.
Gross.
But it was cool because it showcased rollerblading. So.
Yeah. So what other?
And I did. What's that?
I was just gonna say, what other commercials did you do?
Oh, a Frosted Flakes commercial, really cool Kodak commercial for the '92 Olympic Games, where we bombed the hills of San Francisco, but it was dressed like a downhill skier and launched into some of the hills, like took some pretty massive launches into the hills, and
Nice.
I don't know, a couple Coke commercials. I'm trying to think, man, like a few like international spots of some other weird products that were international that weren't, U.S. products. I didn't do Preparation H, Joel. Get out of here. I might now at my age, though.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Edwards. I pioneered rollerblading, and I used Preparation H.
I like Preparation H is good.
Is it?
It works really well. It's like the perfect shape, and
is it?
Yeah, it goes in really easily. It's good stuff. I've used Preparation H.
That's why I haven't had to use that yet.
No, too bad. You should try it. So what's that like doing these commercials? Like you've done some pretty intense stunts for movies and commercials. Like, what's that like when the director's like, okay, we want you to do this, and it's like something really scary?
Then you just go, all right, well, you need to negotiate with my agent and make sure that I get a fair stunt bump on every attempt.
Yeah. Because is that the way it works? It's like the more dangerous it is, the more they have to pay you.
The higher the bump, and like you'll negotiate with them. Like, all right, I'll give you three takes for $1,500 on top of my already negotiated day rate or rate for the shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like there was a moment when I was making anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000 a flip.
Wow.
Yeah, those were good days.
Yeah. So I saw when you broke both your arms. That was in a video.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Tell us about that.
Well, man, I kind of got tired of the X Games, and I've never really been a competitive skater. I started like way before competitions. I participated in the competitions that I knew that it would be great for the culture and the recognition that it would bring it, and it was fun to compete, but I've never been driven by the competition. And I think after the X Games, they started like really blowing up, and it just got like a little too much for my liking. I'm just not really over the top of, all that hype about it. And I don't like the way that I don't like the way the X Games stifled the creativity and the progression of our culture. I think that forcing one person to go out on a course for a minute and not crashing totally ripped away the elegance and beauty of the attempt and the then successful landing and accomplishment of something new in the culture.
Yeah.
There was some stifled years there. We got back into it. I think the best thing that ever happened to us was that we got kicked out of the X Games, because now we're back to look at how much it progressed since we got kicked out. Because now you go to our contest in this jam format. No one's penalized for crashing. They're only rewarded for their innovations and creativity on a course.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I can't even. I'm stunned. I'm so proud of everybody.
Do you watch a lot of videos? Like, do you pay attention to rollerblading now?
Yeah, I've never not paid attention to rollerblading, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've either been, I've been working at Woodward Camp. I've been, I was running a skate park here in Pittsburgh, and I've never left. I don't know. I guess people just didn't see me so much in the hypey hype and thought I went somewhere, but I've been right here, man. I've still been helping and influencing the best I can and teaching kids how to skate and how to roll. And, I'm now getting back hopping onto a wagon again. You know what I mean? Like I feel like my heart's ready to do something a little bit bigger. And we're about to celebrate 20th anniversaries of a lot of milestones in the culture, and I think that it's just time to celebrate and be proud of.
Yeah, I've noticed a trend. Hello?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, man. I cry too much, dude. I cry all the time, man. I was saying it's time to celebrate and just be really, really proud of who we are and what we've done, where we've come from, and then what we've accomplished.
Yeah, no shit. I've noticed something recently. Like a lot of people, whether or not they stopped skating, they kind of faded away, and you didn't really see much from them. But it seems like lately there's Louis Zamora and there's you, and I've noticed Santiago has kind of come back. There seems to be something in the air where people, it really feels like they're realizing how amazing rollerblading is, or they really want to be involved again. Omar Wysong came out with a new edit, and it does feel like there's something in the air where people are realizing, like, holy shit, like rollerblading is really awesome, and it's been around for so long. And like you said, it is time to celebrate the fact that, like, how lucky are we that we are involved with this thing, and we
No doubt. Well,
do this thing
as
and
a
we know about it, and it's beautiful.
right. Well, and as a culture, we persevered. You know, we've now paid some dues, and we're still here. And you know, it's everyone's efforts that have kept it alive. So I mean, anyone who's donated a little bit of blood, a little bit of sweat, a little bit of tears, man, should be proud. And there's millions of us. And you know, I think that, you know, that's why you're seeing those folks that just had to take a rest for a second. You know, consider it a hockey game. People are just sitting down for a minute, but they're getting ready to jump back in the game and fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know,
it's an exciting time. I feel it.
Yeah, for sure it is, man. I think it's come to the point where it's just like, you know what, try and I'm just to the point where it's like, you know, I'm ready just to be pretty confident and just, you know, try and stop me. You're not going to stop us. You're not going to stop rollerblading. The resurgence is here, and we're going to be coming back with a mighty force.
Man, hearing you say that is just giving me shivers. I remember, like, when I first saw that Remz edit that you put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited because I hadn't seen anything from you for so long that, you know, you do think like, oh, that he doesn't skate anymore, or maybe he does, but he's not pushing it too hard. And when I saw that edit, it was like, wow, like this guy is still so good. Like he's launching as high as anyone out of quarter pipes. He's doing tricks that people still can't do, like those toe taps on the top of the quarter. Like no one does that, and those crazy grabs that you do, and just skating with so much control. I mean, to see that was just really inspiring. How old are you now?
Thanks, Todd. I'm 38. I'll be 39 here in December, and I'm almost 40 years old, brother.
Awesome. It's so inspiring to see people like, not that 38 is old by any means, but there was a time when people kind of had this perception that being 20 was old.
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s, like when people were 22 and they were still skating, it was like, oh, he's an OG, like that guy's old. And it's so exciting to see people your age ripping it, and that's really, I think that's really one thing that rollerblading really needs is the older, more mature skaters with just years of experience under their belt, and you might not be doing like 540s to kind grinds and tricks that these young kids are doing, but you do your stuff with so much control and elegance that it's equally as, or if not more impressive than a lot of these technical tricks. It's just like something beautiful and confident that only like an older person can accomplish on rollerblades.
Well, I think that it's not something that rollerblading was needing. It's something that rollerblade is now growing into, brother. Like, you know, if you know, you gotta look at it that, you know, I was fortunate enough to be right there at the get-go. So if I'm as old as it gets, we're pretty young as a culture. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So we're just now coming into our own.
Yeah.
And as a culture, and as individuals within the culture, we're all maturing, and you know, we have no choice but to either mature or die, I suppose. You know, so
yeah.
You know, I definitely am swinging with a lot of experience now at, you know, almost 40 years old. And been married a few times. I've done some crazy, stupid young buck things, and you know, and now I'm a lot slower in my movements, but they're a lot more precise now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say if I was to compare, oh, I'm getting some echo. I can hear my voice after I talk. It's really distracting.
Okay, sorry. Not echoing. That's good.
Not your fault. But if I was to compare rollerblading to a person, like I think, like if rollerblading was a man, I think we would be about 17 years old right now. I think we would like just be like, you know, maybe had your first job for a couple years, maybe you're starting to date girls. You're starting to get a little bit more confident. You're starting to like rebel against your parents a little bit. We're young. We're starting to grow into our own, but we're still very young. We still have a long ways to go. In a lot of ways, I think we're a little over confident, a little over arrogant, kind of the way a 17-year-old is. But we're very talented.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that your assessment's probably right with the culture that's rocking right now. But now that you got the old heads coming back in, we at least raised the age up a handful of years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
You there?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, you know, you haven't. It's been a good 5 years easily, and closer pushing probably to 10 years since you've had that first regime really out there doing much. It was like we all kind of took a step back, found our ways to help influence and let the new regime step in and show who they were and be who they were without over the top, and at the same time dealing with the rebellion of that regime. As it's a natural and it's a positive thing that happens, but it happens.
Yeah.
And now I think that the second wave is now to a point where they're realizing, well, they're starting to get older, and maybe as they look back, then they're in a position to look way back now. Do you know what I mean?
The older skaters.
Yeah, now everyone's starting to look way back. You're looking back. You're looking back to the people are now really looking and focusing in on the roots. 5 years ago, man, there was a lot to talk about with Happy and Aragon and all the amazingness and craziness, Broskow and Morales, and everyone was bringing to the table, and they're still bringing it. But now them boys they're pushing 30 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's amazing. But it
now
seems like
30, they're now looking back a little bit themselves because they're now starting to get to that point where like, all right, man, what am I going to do when I'm turning 30?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still representing, of course, and man, I couldn't be more proud of them. And they've really carried the flag like better than I'm safe to say any of us older dudes could or dudes or girls could even ever imagine,
Yeah, it seems like the shelf life of pros has gotten longer and longer. Like dudes like Haffey and Broskow, they're still at the top. There was a time when the people at the top would be replaced like really quick with the young guns coming up.
Yeah, right. I think that was just the exciting. Those were the hypey years, man. That was the whole ESPN thing, the ASA involvement, all that stuff. It was like too much money for the culture's own good without any direction or solid foundation to really go off of.
Yeah.
So it was just like, and people just didn't care. It was just like, man, there wasn't enough roots there to really make it. Although the roots never got uprooted, so we're still here. We just like had to go and do some other stuff to keep it around and dodge the bullet.
Yeah. Would you say that there was a lot of like spoiled people in rollerblading, people who were getting paid a lot from a young age, and so they didn't really learn to work for it, and there was a lot of laziness in rollerblading?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really like focusing on any really the negative things. I think that it is just what it is, Like, yeah, definitely. There was a lot of young people. I mean, come on, like the first contest, there was a few of us that were just in our 20s, and then there was just the talent pool wasn't really there. We were just taking anyone who could rip. So all of a sudden, you're getting guys like Matty Mance at 14 who was pretty awesome at the time, but you're not going to find a 14-year-old today who can keep up with the par.
Yeah.
like you'll find some good, there's definitely some awesome kids out there who are grooming. I think the grooming process is longer now. The grooming process before was it was more out of need. Like, come on, we just got to make a field of skaters and make it look like we got a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of people doing it. So just, you're pretty damn good, come over here. You're pretty good too, come over here. And then I think that the ASA system of just turning 10 skaters pro every single year just started to really infiltrate the marketplace and give all these like false hopes and dreams to riders that then just end up kind of collapsing on itself. You turn 10 dudes pro without enough companies to support them, give them skates, give them product to endorse and everything. You're just going to have total mayhem, and that's what we ended up with. And and then we had to grow past that point to where now I think as a culture everything's kind of settling down and settling into itself at this point. Now, like you said, like everyone's the shelf life's extended out there a little bit more. The guys who are representing the companies, representing the culture, are some solid dudes. There's a lot of really great guys who represent blading, like, with some honor and respect.
Yeah. Your view is so fascinating because you have literally been right there from the beginning. Yeah, and you were very involved, like you saw the very beginnings of the rollerblade team and like the very first aggressive rollerbladers. And you've watched this thing like from birth, from the very beginning. You've watched it progress for the last 20 years. Like, where do you see it all going? What's going to happen?
It's definitely a weird perspective, I mean, I'm glad I have a good solid faith in God, and I'm just like really, really blown away in the position that He's blessed me with. Because sometimes my perspective is definitely boggles even my own mind. I can't believe that I've been able to watch something go from the beginning. I mean, that's why I named my first clothing company Birth, because it just was representing the beginning of what we were trying to achieve with Angie and Jess and Pat and Doug and, with Daily Bread and everything. We were such a tight-knit group. And, we went and met Arlo. Arlo jumped in. We all rode together and believed in something. And it was like we were kids pretending we were an industry and making this like Wizard of Oz curtain. And then it worked. And now you take the curtain away and, man, look what you see. It's amazing. It's not just a handful of us like standing at a microphone, man. You can take the curtain away now and be completely blown away with the international involvement and the passion and the heart and the soul and the dedication of so many people to this thing. It's overwhelming.
It really is. It's amazing. When you first began, did you ever think that it would be like this? Did you think it would be global with so many people pushing so hard and so many, like, this interconnectedness that we have? And like, did you ever think it would grow like this?
I think that we were young enough and cocky enough to think so. Do you know what I mean? But now, as I'm older, I can't believe it worked. Maybe like our, like maybe our youthfulness and our cockiness and that we were gonna, roll the world and do it and take it over and, like it worked. Somehow. Yeah. Totally. So like now sitting here as a dude who's about to be 40 and, looking back and seeing like, man, it's just amazing, dude. I couldn't be more proud, man. I couldn't be, it's, I'm taken back by it.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. Sometimes I just can't. I don't know. Sorry, dude. I cry a lot.
That's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
No need to apologize.
Like as soon as like the overwhelmingness of it all like hits me, my eyes start watering. I just like it's just tears of complete gratitude and appreciation and awe.
Yeah. And you're so lucky to have witnessed it all. I mean, not many people get something like that in their life. I mean, people fall in love with baseball or fall in love with basketball or music or painting or whatever. But how many people can say that they witnessed something grow from the beginning and they were involved with that birth, and they're hugely responsible for where it is today. Like, you helped plant those seeds. You got so many people into skating. Like, so many people credit your appearance in Airborne to them falling in love with skating, wanting to skate, wanting to experience that freedom. Like, you showcase that. And you are, like, hugely responsible for where rollerblading is today. Like, what the hell would rollerblading be without Chris Edwards? You know, my first pair of skates 18 years ago were tarmac CEs. They had your name on it.
Right.
And now we're talking. Amazing.
Yeah, well, there's no way. I was the poster kid, man. And there's so many people that were behind that icon. And I mean, I did do the skating, I did do the tricks, but I was so influenced and so inspired by so many people that were behind me, pushing me and fighting for what we were doing. And I mean, I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Angie and Jess and Doug Boyce and Parnell and Chris Morris and Kenny Clark, who built me a ramp in his backyard so I could just ride every day. Man, I'm grateful and overwhelmed that I was in a position to be a vessel, and I give all the glory to God, man. I can't. It's too big. There's too many people that gave so much to it.
Yeah. I have a confession to make, Chris.
Okay.
Dude, I suck at airing quarters.
Yeah.
I grew up skating. I grew up skating in a little town, and I skated a lot of street, and so I didn't skate a lot of park when I was growing up, and I guess I always felt foreign on quarter pipes. And I've always wanted to learn how to air quarter pipes, and you are the master of, like, you can soar so high out of quarter pipes, you land right at the top of the coping. Please give me some advice. Like, how do I air quarters? How do you do that?
Well, if you make a check payable to the Airman CE,
cool. I'll mail it out to you, dude.
I'm just playing, man. But I am definitely gonna. I'm gonna throw you that bone right now. But I'm definitely gonna be making some how-to things, and I'm gonna be focusing now on the kids and getting kids on skates. I mean, it's been my main mission throughout all of my exploits in rollerblading, is to put people on skates and to encourage and help kids find themselves through it. And my mission is going to continue, and I'm going to get just as aggressive as I was before with it, just in an old man kind of way. So I'll be making some how-to clips for the WRS site and for my new adventures, the airmance.com, and you guys will be able to learn, and the tricks that I can't accomplish myself, I'll just go talk to the Brotherhood and have them.
Hello?
Yo.
Hey, Chris.
What's up?
The internet failed us.
It happens, man.
But it was good. I went and took a pee. It felt nice.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. When you have to pee, it takes some brain power away from you.
I bet it must have been that trick tip I gave you. Just like you got so excited you nearly peed your pants. Since
Exactly.
I just taught you how to air a quarter pipe.
Yeah, I tinkled a little bit. Just a bit, like a little dribble.
Right. It's amazing, because there for a second I thought that you hung up on me. You couldn't even handle that trick tip I gave you.
Yeah, it just blew my mind. So go on. How do you air a quarter pipe like Chris Edwards?
I thought you just got that tip.
You were telling me that you're going to produce all these how-to videos, and that's exciting.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
But I want to hear it like straight from the man.
You're gonna, man. You're gonna be able to buy my video and hear it straight from the man.
Okay. So I got to buy the video. I got to get the video first.
I'm just playing Todd, man. No, I mean, I definitely, like I said, our mission is to be able to get some kids on skates. The way I look at it, man, there's a rollerblader born every single day.
Yep.
And, it's up to us as a culture and us as individuals to do our part and find those rollerbladers that were born every single day and get them on skates and turn them on to the freedom of feet that rolling has to offer.
Yep.
You like that Remz plug right there?
I heard it. That was good.
See that?
I barely even noticed.
That's a seasoned man.
Yeah, you're a true professional.
You gotta just sneak those things in there.
Yeah.
But the quarter pipes, brother, there's if you got a quarter pipe without vert, there's one way to air them, and then a quarter pipe with vert, there's another way to air them. But both share some similarities. The similarity on them is you always stare at the coping, and you always make sure that you ride through the coping and keep staring at the coping until you get your feet back to the coping.
Right. So when you're, oh, totally. So when you're in the air, you're like aiming for your feet to hit the coping.
Right. You gotta stare at the coping. Okay. That's the similar thread between vert quarter pipes and non-vert quarter pipes. Is you're gonna ride out of the coping and stare at the coping until you get back to the coping.
That makes so much sense, and it sounds so obvious.
Okay.
I've never been told that.
All right. Okay. So, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
That's cool.
Okay. So now, the difference between the two of them is slight, and not doing the slight difference on either or could end in fatality. On a non-vert quarter pipe, you want to pop up and slightly out as to not be tossed over the deck. So you're going to have to kind of throw your body weight as you blast through the coping kind of as straight up and slightly out as you can, like out towards the ground or out towards the flat bottom. But not a lot, just a little bit. And
yeah, see, that's my huge problem. I think I jump out way too much. Like I always land like way too far down on the coping,
right? So,
or on the quarter.
It helps to carving is really essential on a non-vert quarter pipe. Is to carve kind of up and slightly out, but not a lot out. Still over the top of the coping. Really, both of them you gotta be staring, and you want to position your body to be right over the top of the coping. In theory, you're airing directly above the coping.
Yeah.
On a vert ramp, you're going to throw yourself more up and slightly in towards the deck.
Whoa, really?
Just slightly. There's the two differences. Because what you're doing is you're compensating. You're compensating for the fact that a vert ramp wants to throw your ass to the flat bottom, and a non-vert ramp wants to throw your ass to the deck.
Right, that makes sense.
So you got to make those slight adjustments.
Okay.
And
that
then
makes a lot of sense. On
a vert quarter pipe, it's better to land on the deck than it is to pull out and drop 20-some feet to the flat bottom any day on any Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's best to if you're gonna overcompensate on accidentally wrong on a vert, you want to compensate over the deck, where then your air is 3 or 4 foot above the coping, in some cases 10 foot plus, but then the distance between your ultimate height and safety is therefore only 10 feet or less because you're aiming for the deck.
Yeah.
And then on the lower quarter pipes without the vert, usually, it always sucks to pull out too much.
Yeah.
That's what Joel says every night.
Shut up.
That was gross, Joel. That's disgusting.
Nasty.
Joel,
nasty.
how could you?
God, Joel. Heck, you little.
So speaking of pulling out, like how you're 38 now, how does your body feel these days?
A little sore. I went. I skated yesterday with Bruce Bales because Bo Coddington's making an edit, and he's up to some old man up to no good at it.
Cool.
So he requested some clips. Went out yesterday. We're just getting out of the winter, and I just quit my job over at this theater. I was running my buddy's joint for him, and it just wasn't for me, really.
Yeah.
It was taking me away from skating too much. It was cool. I moved down here to run the skate park, and then all of a sudden, I'm running the theater, and skating seemed to just felt like it was fading. It was almost like my heart was dying. But then we got into some situations which made it easy for me to leave, and then just kind of pray and hope that I can make some things happen for myself and for rolling. But I went rolling yesterday, and I feel I'm sore as hell today. But it feels good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to, I think I have to, at my age, I have to work out in order to stay on top of it. But back in the day, I was just young, and skating every day, all day was enough of a workout to keep me in shape. But I'm definitely going to be doing that insanity workout just to get my fighting legs back underneath me, so I can really get some serious clips. Yesterday, I got some fun clips.
Yeah.
And but I still got enough drive in me. I want to get a couple of serious clips. I want to do a couple of cool things.
Nice. What did you call that? The madman training, or what?
What's that?
You
old man.
What does this consist of? Like, what kind of workout are you going to start doing?
I like the looks of that insanity workout. So Joel and I are going to start doing that. Have you seen that on TV?
The insanity workout? No. What's
It's a lot of jumping. It's a lot of it's all body weight. The whole thing's all body weight, and it consists of a lot of aerobics and a lot of jumping, which is pretty awesome. So just I figured, if I can get myself back into just used to jumping all the time, then I'll be ready to jump when it's time to jump.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty solid workout for skating. Get those thighs all ripped, and
yeah, right.
Sure, lots of body squats and.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of core exercise, and so just I've been it's harder to get rid of that little bit of old man chub than it used to be. I'm not ridiculously overweight, but I've got a good 10 pounds I could lose.
Yeah.
Just to be in good fighting shape.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
It does. You don't want to be carrying that extra junk when you're dropping off of shit.
It's true.
It's crazy. Did you know that? I think the statistic is for every 10 pounds, it can equal up to close to 1,000 pounds of pressure when you drop. That goes onto your body and your joints and everything.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean,
there's some crazy statistic about because I have in the past I've worked out and trained a little bit just to keep myself in shape. Once I started breaking the 30 barrier, I was doing a lot of all through the early 2000s and stuff as I was in my 30s. Was training with a good friend of mine, Rob, out of State College near Woodward, and he was a pretty solid dude, and we were making a pretty good regimen for for skating, for a workout for skating. It was a little more geared towards what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some weird, crazy. It's crazy how much it can affect you.
Oh yeah. It's everything. It's your vehicle. So if it's not working and you got a trick in your head, then and your body just isn't capable of pulling it off, then you're not going to pull it off. It's the most important thing is to have your body ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is. But,
so what does skating look like for you these days? Like what kinds of stuff are you skating? What kind of spots? Who are you skating with?
I'm gonna be doing a lot of business blading, brother. I'm gonna be I just got reconnected with some of the boys here in Pittsburgh. My focus is gonna be I created a fan page on Facebook, the Airman CE. My whole project now is just going to be labeled the Airman CE. I'm just going to wear the name, wear the label as a representation of all of us, of our history, of who we are, because there's so many people behind that name and that icon, and I just want to represent all of them, and represent all of us the best I can. So I'll be creating a history site, theairmance.com. Which will also have a retail store attached to it. And the store we're actually going to be launching here hopefully next week. But it's going to be a very exclusive store. It's going to focus in on the companies that have endorsed me and supported me through the years and the ones that I really believe in. So I'll only be selling Remz products as the skate brand that I'll be representing. And I'll be focusing in on being the best Remz retailer that I could possibly be for myself and for Kato and for all those who love Remz. I'll also be representing Eulogy, and I'll only be selling Eulogy wheels on my site, and again, being the best Eulogy retailer I can be. And then Rockstar Bearings as my exclusive bearing company. And then, which is a New York City-based company with John Ortiz, Ray Mendez, Disla Brothers, and all them good cats out of New York.
Cool.
And then Denial Clothing with Majette and Kilgore and all the boys out of Philly will be my clothing representation. And out of Boston, Hakeem Jamo and Brian Lewis, my brothers for a long time. And good friends with Create Original as the frame company that I'll be representing.
Hakeem Jamo, is he involved with Create Originals?
Yeah, he started it with Brian Lewis.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Hakeem was on he was on Birth Clothing. He was one of my riders for a while.
Yeah.
Went on my tour. He's a brother.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. My store will focus in on those products, and then what I'm going to be starting as something maybe new in blading since it's time is I will have exclusive Airman CE products from all of these companies, which will be signature products. I've got an Airman frame that's coming out, that's already out and ready to sell.
Awesome.
With Create Original. And it features a Godfather logo with the puppet hand, and the Airman written in Godfather font.
Awesome.
It's pretty sweet. So those will be available for sale here in a minute. And then I've got a new wheel coming out with Eulogy, which will be available in the summer. It's going to have a bunch of Tommy guns on it if they try to stop me. And it'll be my 25th anniversary as a sponsored rider. So we'll be celebrating that with Eulogy. I got a pretty fresh shirt coming out with Denial. And then I'll be doing some stuff with Rockstar. And then Christmas, we're going to be putting together with Remz the official Airman CE setup, which will consist of an OS4 boot, the Airman frame, Eulogy wheels, and the Rockstar bearings, all as one exclusive setup. They'll all be built by me, and I'm going to build every pair. Now, everything that we're offering is going to come in limited edition. We're only going to make a certain amount. Like there'll only be 125 frames available per color, which is only going to be the black and the white. And they're all going to come in a numbered box with my signature and a Airman CE letter of authenticity to make it an official collector's item.
Nice.
And so then all the products with my name will be doing the same. So they'll all come. They're all going to be numbered products as official collectibles from the Airman. Yeah. You know, so you know the wheels will be numbered and everything is going to be coming with you know, like the letter of authenticity and all that. So I'm hoping to create kind of more of like a collector's club. I mean, I'd love for everyone to rock them and roll them too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, rock them, roll them, put them back in the box, and wrap the certificate around them and close them up.
That's exciting.
And then I discovered, actually Joel discovered these in 1994. This company made these trading cards for action sports, and we got our hands on a handful of them. They're brand new, mint condition, 1994 Chris Edwards trading cards.
Wow.
And I will be signing them, numbering them, putting them in a shield, and selling those off at $50 a piece, and that money is going to help me get around to skate with everybody again.
Cool.
So people will be able to have a piece of the beginning, you know, 1994, the first tarmac, the first skate. That was the year that the first World Championships. That's when that year is the official mark of the international involvement of blading. So people are going to be able to, the first handful of people who purchase them are going to be able to take home a piece of history and then have it with some pride with us.
Yeah.
So, well, we've got a few other things that we're discovering and things that we're going to be releasing, some historical pieces that I'm in the works with some other people on, and people will be able to start touching and feeling the history of where we've been, who we are, and what we are today. And
that's exciting.
That's my focus, brother.
Yeah.
Is just to hold down the legacy for all of us.
Yeah. Can we expect any more edits from you?
Hell yeah, man. I just went out yesterday and filmed.
Awesome.
And I'll keep it up.
Nice. So are you riding Flat Rocker these days?
What's that?
Are you riding Flat Rocker?
Yeah, man. I never stopped doing that, dude. That's how I go so fast.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm still rocking it the way I've rocked it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all four down, brother. We get them all going.
Cool.
And utilize that frame the way it was originally designed to be used.
Yeah.
And I found a way to grind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean those are my projects, and I'll be working with Kato. We're gonna be focusing in on the kids. I'm gonna be developing like a brother sister blader program for everyone out there to get involved with finding a kid to mentor. And if you get them to buy a pair of skates from our site, then you'll become like an official Airman CE mentor and part of the brotherhood in the family. And you will receive like 25% off of all of our products, and we'll hook you up with some shirts and some different things that we're working on. I don't have all the things. I don't want to promise what I can't deliver yet, but those are what we're working on. So that's gonna be my focus, man. Just focusing on the history, focusing in on the companies that I love, and focusing in on the kids.
Cool.
And then if anyone wants to be part of my mailing list, so you can be updated with everything that we got going, there's two ways to do it. You can go to Facebook/the Airman CE and be a part of our fan page. And then also we're going to be setting up Airman CE 86, representing the year I started, at hotmail.com. And people can start emailing us so we get your contacts and your information, and we'll gladly be a part of it. We consider everyone who rollerblades part of our family. And
Kleenex.
So how did you?
Love to sponsor.
Yeah.
Kleenex.
But yeah, okay, man. Anyone who rollerblades, man, is a part of our family. And my dad's working with me, my wife Joel, and my brother and sister, like our whole family. All the Edwards are behind this, and we're proud of everybody, and we want to do what we can to support everyone. And we greatly appreciate everyone else's support in return.
Nice. So how did you get hooked up with Kato, or how were you always close with Kato?
Yeah, man, I've always loved Kato since the moment I met him. He's an inspiring dude. His dedication to start the first skater-owned company was so steadfast and so strong. I mean, the dude did it, man. He was making skates out of his house, out of his garage, hand stitching skates. Like, it's unheard of. And he was able to grow into the Remz we know today. I was on contract with Rollerblade. His first skates, like a lot of people like that flimsy style. I've always been a rollerblade rider and needed that lockdown because, I've always done big, burly, dum-dum stuff. And I've always had to really strap myself in. But when he came out with that OS4, man, I saw it for the first time. I was like, dude, what is that? Like, is that seriously a Remz? And I borrowed a pair from a kid at the skate park here in Pittsburgh and rode them, and I just fell in love. And I was like so geeked. Like, I felt like I was a grommet. I call up Kato like, hey man, can I please ride for your company? And then Kato was like, are you serious, man? Like, I think we both kind of were geeked out on each other, which was kind of funny and fun. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I can't believe you want to ride for me. I'm like, well, I can't, like, I want to ride for you, like, I can't believe you made such an amazing skate. Like, like, I've always been proud of you and the what you've done, but you just made a skate that I can ride. Like, I can actually ride your skates now, man. And I was just thrilled. And I love him. I love Kato. I believe in Kato, and I believe in his products, as a lot of people have for years. And I'm stoked that he's got a product that I can ride without fronting or, riding him just to ride him. Like, I truly love his product. Yeah. And I'll do anything for the brother. So we're gonna represent Remz to the fullest at the airmance.com. And Frankie was riding for him for a bit. Happy's riding for him, man. Like, man, just like the team's amazing. The job he's done, everything, man. I'm blown away. I'm honored to be on his skates, and I'm looking forward to repping him for years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah, I'm the juice.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my new boots to come, man. I got some old boots I had to roll yesterday. I got my wheels, I got my frames, I got my bearings, and they're all just sitting here waiting for the boots.
Oh, cool. New setup.
Yeah, I got a new setup I'm about to pop off, including the Airman frame from Create OG.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Fresh. You can check out the frames on my Facebook page. So check it out. You can hit me up on the fan page. I also just have my personal page. I don't mind sharing with everybody.
Yeah, is that this your icon on Skype? Is you smiling, holding? Is that the frame?
Yeah.
You're holding the frame. Nice.
Yeah, everyone will be able to purchase them. It's actually www.shop.theairmance.com. We're going to be opening the store up first. Just got to feed a lot of kids and my family. And as we work on theairmance.com as a history site and home of the later brother-sister program.
Cool. So that in the Remz edit, that little girl that sprayed you in the face, is that your daughter?
No, that's Jules' daughter, Ayla.
Nice.
Yeah, my kids are in North Carolina. I get to see them often and talk with them, but I'm up in Pittsburgh right now, so I do my best to support them, send my support financially and spiritually as best as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of growing older.
Yeah. So, like, what time of day do you like to go skate? Is there a certain? Do you like to skate in the morning? Do you like to skate at night?
I like to skate whenever I can.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I don't have a preference, I suppose. Right now, I'm just jumping back in. I mean, back when I was really at it all the time, every single day, I would go 24/7. It didn't matter what time, when, where, and why. But at this point in my life and in my career, I've just we'll be setting up some different sessions. I gotta, I hope to be able to get in enough shape where I can handle it every single day again. But at this point, a few times a week, nice and hard, is good. So
what kind?
I just rolled yesterday and plan on rolling Sunday. We're gonna set up a session and I'll try and get all my kids on skates and get Jules' kids on skates. I love them as well. She's got a son, Cohen, and a little girl, Ayla. So they're like my children in a sense, like I treat them as the same.
Yeah.
And we're a big mixed bag of kids and parents, but we're all one big old family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll be setting up a Sunday roll with kids in the Pittsburgh area, Sunday afternoon deal, which we're going to try and make consistent, and then set up a couple other sessions with the fellows throughout the weeks.
Cool. Some other skaters in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, there's some good cats here, man.
Is there some nice skate parks?
There's a couple of good concrete parks, and there's a lot of really cool spots in Pittsburgh. We just went and pulled a few yesterday. I just probably been like, it has to be at least 20 years since I did stair riding. But yesterday, man, I just hauled ass into a big old set of stairs right in front of Heinz Field.
Nice.
Like flew down a couple sets of stairs and then 360'd a little 6-step at the end of it.
Cool.
But I hadn't done that in 20 years. I definitely probably hadn't 360'd a set of stairs in quite a while because a lot of my time was spent at Woodward riding trannies. I got all the demos I did and everything. I was the first to grind down a handrail. I did my part in pioneering a lot of the street, but Arlo, really has got a lot of credit for that aspect of what we do. And I really, was almost forced to be stuck on tranny just because of my contract with Rollerblade and all the shows and demos I had to do on vert. And but I'd always go out everywhere I was and do some street skating everywhere,
Yeah.
But I've never really put too many big street edits out. Most of my edits were always park or vert oriented. And so now I'm gonna, in my older age, I'm probably doing it backwards. But I'm now gonna focus on some street edits.
Oh, cool.
But it'll be just some more like old man dinking around edits.
Nice. I'd love to see it.
But
I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it.
It'll be cool. I popped a couple of things off yesterday.
Cool.
There were a couple little things.
Yeah.
It was fun. Proud of what I did.
So
I survived.
Tell us about the first time you did a rail. The first time you were the first person to do a rail on rollerblades.
Yeah.
How? Tell us about that.
Well, Jules going to be writing my book. You're going to be able to purchase the book. I'm just kidding. But seriously, Jewel is going to be writing my book. But
cool.
It was pretty. Okay, here's how it rolls. You know, you have Doug Boyce has the design sitting on his wall of the skates that we're rolling on today, with the wheels slightly off center, with the front and the two front ones being pushed up and the two back ones being pushed back in order to create the gap. You know, so he had that drawing. He had a drawing.
Okay, like before there was actually skates designed like that.
Exactly. Like he had the concept, he had the conceptual drawing and idea for it, like a pretty nice one, not just like a scribble scrabble. Like he had like a conceptual, like could present it to a company, kind of drawing, and he had that back in like 80, 87, 88. So the seed was already planted. We'd been at that time, no one's taking what we're doing seriously. We're merely circus freaks, especially myself was they were just utilizing my craziness to get attention. You drop myself in and blast a couple of big boomy boom booms, and people come around and go, "What the hell's this?" So it attracted people to then this big dance charades, and the rest of us, Angie and Jess and everyone rocking on the ramps and everyone doing their parts and of this rollerblade extravaganza, but rollerblade wouldn't make it. No one made a frame. We were rocking TRSs at the time, which were at first, my first pair of skates like these metal frame Zetras. If you go to Tracy White's museum, you'll see like a picture of him holding some. He got his first pair with Zetras too. There's a handful of people out there that actually touched the Zetra, which was rollerblade's first skate out with the metal frame. It was crazy. It was almost like it was weird. The metal frames were all full of holes, so you could adjust the wheels wherever. But so the rollerblade, we're all rocking TRSs, which were from rollerblade standpoint designed for recreation. Kind of like an all-around skate that you could do recreation in and hockey and whatever. And those were the one skate that we really took to. So it was a team rollerblade series. So it was, you could do freestyle, you could dance, you could play hockey. It was that one all-around skate was the TRS. So we're rocking that, and then no one's in a position to make us a frame. I mean, it's a pretty big and costly adventure to jump in and pour a frame, especially back then. So within a handful of years, Jeff started talking about looking at the smaller skateboard wheels. So he kind of was like, yeah, maybe we should try that. So then there was a point where I went home after like one of our demos, we were on the road and they had talked about it. We went home, we split up. Jess found some skateboard wheels. I went and found some skateboard wheels. I call him up, or he calls me up, and you got them? Yeah, got them. Like, are you grinding? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, me too. Like, we're grinding. Like, hey, cool, it's working. Like, we're grinding. But then, like the frames ground down to nothing quick, man. So we were just like blasting through frames. And so then I went and got a joist hanger from Home Depot and cut out a hole so that it could wrap around. So it's like the very first grind plate was a Home Depot joist hanger that wrapped around solid metal. But there was no groove, but it didn't wear out, but there was no groove. So it was fast as hell and a little sketchy. And so those were the first like real true grinds. Were on those, and so you'll see a lot of those grinds in Dare to Air. All the first grinds in the history were in Dare to Air. Now I did the very first official grind was more of a slide, like a Royale slide down like a little 3-stepper that I did with some Fat Boys on before we came up with the idea of the smaller wheels.
This was down like a 3-stair rail.
Yeah, just a little rail, so it was more like a Royale splash. But it was the first time that anyone really jumped up onto a rail and attempted to do anything on it.
Yeah.
So that was like 1992. And then by the end of 92, we were, that was like the beginning of 92. And then within only a couple of months from then, we'd all gotten juiced off of that first experience, and then really started putting our minds to how to innovate without the cash or the ability to start from scratch. So the great innovation, the small wheels came into play. So like a lot of people think they just ride small wheels just because they don't realize that the whole reason why we went to small wheels was create a gap on a recreational frame that wasn't designed for freestyle blading.
Yeah.
So, like really we all started out on 72 mils, you know what I mean? And then only out of necessity did we go so small. There was a time in the industry where the wheels were so freaking small, like they were just like almost pointless. So we were able to back up to a proper size. I mean, rolling riding flat with like all like 45, man, 40. It's crazy.
Yeah, there were some tiny wheels.
Yeah, and then those wheels ended up like Arlo then comes along rather quickly. He was part of the fold. So then he comes up with that using the wrench that came in the rollerblade box because he thought I was absolutely insane and probably out of my mind to be wrapping it with all metal. So he innovated that, which then created a groove, which then he realized that if he put 2 bigger wheels on the outside, he'd go a little faster and create a gap, Yeah. So, but yeah, that's that, man. Is that enough for you? Because there's a lot more to tell, but I gotta save some stories for Joel.
Yeah, that's cool. So jump into the future. Like, what are there any videos that have really touched you recently that you really like rollerblading videos?
Nothing that like really instantly stands out. I mean, I've been busy with work. You know what I mean? I've just been doing old man stuff, dealing with kids and my own personal kids, Joel's children, and our lives, and then just working. I haven't really caught anything as of super recently. I go online a lot and look at clips and look at things and see like little bits and pieces of what everyone's doing. I just like to kind of check in on everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blown away by Happy and Aragon. I really like that little spend campaign that he did. That was bad to the bone.
The spend campaign?
Sven Boker's, his little that video that he put together with him like rolling around with the launch ramp.
Oh, with all the launch ramps. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was like a nice old school, new school marriage right there. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I like that a lot. And man, really, anything that Chris Happy does is just bow down worthy. Same with Aragon, and Roscoe, and Morales, Jeff Stockwell. Stockwell's one of my favorite skaters of all time.
He's amazing.
He is, man. That guy can go any which way, including loose. I mean, there's so many, man. I'm really proud of everybody. Everyone in the past, everyone in the middle, and everyone today. Like I'm really, really proud and honored to be able to, in any way, represent all of us.
Yeah. You probably don't remember I'm not totally sure what year it was. You came to Vancouver in the 90s, maybe 95, 96. There was ASA comp there.
Right.
You were ripping the vert ramp, and I was probably 12 or 13, and I was sitting with my friend Joey in the stands just watching. I don't even think we brought our skates because the ramps were huge, and we were just little kids just starting out skating. We were watching you skate, and you were skating really hard, and you were sweating up a storm, and you threw your shirt out into the crowd.
Yeah.
And I ran for it, and I got it, and I was so excited, but I picked it up, and the shirt was like, it was dipped in a bathtub, like it was soaking wet, and I was shocked. I was so excited. I'm like, Chris Edwards' shirt. I grabbed it, I picked it up, and I was like, oh, and I instantly dropped it. It was so sweaty. And then this other kid like ran up beside me, and he grabbed it, and he's like, don't you know, this is Chris Edwards' shirt. And then he ran off, and I was like, well, yeah, it would have been cool to have Chris Edwards' shirt, but it was like so sweaty.
It's cool, man. I don't blame you, man.
He's sweaty too.
I sweat all the time, man. I'm just lucky that Joel hangs out with me because I am a sweaty little bastard.
I sweat a lot when I do this podcast.
Yeah.
I always get a sweaty ass. I sit in a leather chair, and I always get really excited, and I'm like drinking tea, and I get really sweaty. My wife is giving me the glaring eyes. She's like, "Move on, Ron. Don't talk about your sweaty ass too much." She calls me Ron. Yeah.
Does she?
Yeah.
She calls you Ron.
Yeah.
And your name's Todd?
Yeah. I guess it's easier for her to say, or she just likes Ron. She says it suits me more.
Really?
Yeah. Or I think it's the name of one of her ex-boyfriends. I don't know.
That's cool. Joel calls me asshole, so.
Yeah, she calls me that too.
She says that it suits me better.
Yeah. So I think there was only one other time that I actually saw you in person was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Do you remember you were there? You were like a judge for the Canadian Nationals in I think 98 or 99. There was a big purple street course.
Yeah. I'm slightly remembering it. It was probably with Chris Fowler and those cats, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I really sucked. I was like a really mediocre kid in Solomon's who could barely air the fly box. I think I got 38th place.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of how many?
38th in Canada.
Nice.
That's me. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations, Todd.
Thank you.
I'm glad I was able to judge and put you in 38.
Yeah, me too. I probably deserve to get 45th.
Contests are so overrated.
Yeah, I'm not too into it.
It's like one person feels awesome and everyone else feels lame. So horrible.
It's such
a horrible concept.
Yeah.
What's that?
It kind of takes the fun away from it.
It does. It's such a horrible concept. Like, why do we have to be so competitive? It's just retarded. Yeah. I think that, I really like, I like where everyone's at right now, man. It's really a lot more lifestyle, a lot more about just the skating, the accomplishments of the individual for the whole, more so than the, I'm better than you vibe. It's kind of back to its roots where it belongs.
Yeah.
Like Arlo and I always had like fun competition amongst each other, but I never was like, I got to take Arlo out. I was always proud of Arlo, when he whooped my ass or, you know what I mean? Like, it's never that way.
It's just exciting to see what different people can do because everyone has their different take on it. Everyone has their different skill set. And that's what's exciting to me about skating is the individuality, like how many different things can possibly be done on skates, how many different people think about it in such a different way, and contests kind of homogenize everyone. They make everyone, it kind of forces everyone into a little cube, and like you said, it takes away from the rawness of it, and it takes away from the like not caring if you fall, trying something until you get it, and it's like do a run, live up to these standards, and win. It's silly. rollerblading is more of an art. I think people invented, like, these corporations, I think they wanted to create contests because, like, that's how normal sports are, you know, like baseball, basketball, hockey. It's a sport. You put the ball into the net, you score. And to make people understand skating, to make them care about skating, they thought it was necessary to, like, make it into a contest, like create this like artificial environment. Yeah. Where,
well, especially when it was ESPN. I mean, ESPN essentially is the one that came in and, you know, set up the first NIST series with everyone, you know, and we were all kind of hesitant to do it, but then just outweighed the hesitancy with the ability to reach so many, and, you know, took the plunge and the risk. And I don't think, you know, there's no regret, but I think that, you know, for me anyways, man, I prefer just rolling. I like to promote rolling. I like, you know, I like the fact that we can all rock a free heart, a free mind, and we all got that free style.
Yep. Chris, it's been awesome to talk to you. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem, man. My honor.
And everyone go check out the Airborne or the airmance.com and go like the Facebook page. Look up the Airman. And Chris, I wish you the best. It's awesome to hear that you're going to be pushing rollerblading, and it's been an honor to speak to you. And thank you so much for doing this, man. It's been a blast.
Of course, man. My pleasure. You know, and just thank you everybody for rolling. Thank you all for believing. Thank you all for your support. Please just stay strong. God bless you, and thanks for being behind the Airman. I'd be nothing without you.
Awesome.
God bless.
Well, I hope you have a good night, man.
All right, brother. I owe you a shirt.
For sure. I'm excited.
I'll make sure that Joel washes it.
Awesome. Hey, tell Jewel, put me in the book. Right, you can write about the time Chris Edwards was interviewed by Todd.
Okay, and the sweaty shirt story. Definitely.
The sweaty shirt story for sure. You can have that free of charge. All yours.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, it's not really free of charge. That was just you and I exchanging since you got a trick tip.
Cool. We're even. Thanks for that too. I'm gonna work on my quarter pipe errors.
Perfect. Please do, man.
I will.
And hopefully we get to skate together someday, and you can show me that you got that shit down.
Yeah, I'd love that, dude.
All right, awesome. Well, listen, if everyone really please come support the airmance.com, and it'll give us the opportunity to come out and roll with you. You know, like I spent all my money in the front end of my career to start the tours that I did and go roll with everybody and give back, and any money that comes this time will be doing the same just to keep my family alive and fed, and the ability to come out and see everybody and skate with everyone. So
awesome.
That was my plea for please support us.
We will. Well, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you,
no problem,
Joel.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good night.